This is Matt Coyne, host of The Cheap Seats. Thank you for listening to the following broadcast here on Public House Media.
This is Kim Meyer, the host of Choose to Rise here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Choose to Rise, where we talk about living with positive mindsets, how to increase our confidence, building our faith, and living out our life on purpose. A new show comes out via podcast every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And if you want to catch the episode live instead, stop by Public House Media around 6:45 Central Standard Time, Monday, Wednesday, Friday as well. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of Choose to Rise. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
History is happening in High Point as professional baseball has come to Furniture City. Don't miss any of the action from strikeouts,
3-2 cold strike 3 right at the knees,
to web gems,
stabbed by Alfonzo, he spins, throws to first, and the pick by Bichette rounds out a beautiful play.
to home runs,
High fly ball deep left field. This one is gone. Get up and get out. Tyler Ladendorf.
and of course, every rockin' victory.
The pitch. Swing, strikeout, the Rockers win! The first win in Rockers history here at home.
Interviews, recaps, and insights from across the Atlantic League. It's all fresh off the Rockers.
Hello and welcome to, at this point, must be episode 5 of Off the Rockers. I'm Kevin McMahon. I'm the play-by-play broadcaster for the High Point Rockers, and as always, I'm joined by a man of many talents, James Jackson, the media relations coordinator for the Rockers. James, how are you? Thanks for joining me yet again. Another week, another great week of High Point Rocker baseball, another week of Off the Rockers.
You know, I'm very honored to be here, Kevin, being that I am working with greatness. I saw your front page article in the High Point Enterprise, and, you know, congratulations on that, and we love having you here.
Well, you really put me over. I appreciate that. Well, enough about me. Let's talk about the High Point Rockers on the diamond, how great they have been playing. When they were at home this last week, they took on the New Britain Bees and the York Revolution. That was the last homestand that they just had, and they won both series. So they're feeling pretty good and pretty happy about that. James, anything jump out to you in particular during those series and those games against, you know, big wins against good teams?
You know, definitely the York Revolution series. You know, Miles Schroeder's walk-off was very it was really great to see, and it was really fun as a fan to come out and watch that. The New Britain Bees series was big for us as an organization, you know, being that we struggled against the Bees. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
On the road.
On the road. We struggled against the Bees, and, you know, they come here, and we finally seal that deal and get the series win. You know, that was something that I think the organization wanted as a whole, was just to, you know, get that series win against the Bees, and we definitely did that. And that momentum carried over into the series against York. So, two great teams, a lot of fun this past homestand, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And when you look at the Atlantic League as a whole, when you look at a few storylines coming into that homestand last week, I think the biggest storyline at the time was the New Britain Bees. They had won 10 in a row. They were red hot, and some of those 10 came against the Rockers on the road. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's right?
That's right. I believe so.
All right. Yeah, and so then they came back to take on the Rockers again, and the Rockers ended up snapping that 10-game win streak the Bees had. And like you said, really able to build on it from there. We didn't know at the time. We know now. We're recording this on a Sunday. The podcast comes out on a Monday. The Rockers are currently in Long Island taking on the Ducks, and they have split the series so far, but we'll get to that in a minute. We didn't know that this last homestand was the last time we were going to see Dante Bichette Jr. as a Rocker this season, but it was, and we're happy that it was, because he is got his contract purchased and is with the Washington Nationals. So he's back in the organization, and he's playing in Harrisburg for the AA team, and we're very excited about that. James, what more can you tell us about where Dante is now and how that happened and what happened?
Well, after our last home game against the Revolution, Dante was offered an opportunity to go play for the Nationals organization, and he took that offer. And Dante is now trying to pursue his career back into getting into the show. And honestly, I couldn't be more happy for Dante. Many fans are disappointed that, he's no longer here, and he was definitely a fan favorite. But at the same time, our goal as an organization is to watch our guys grow and develop and pursue that passion and journey to try and get back into the MLB or get into the MLB in general. And Dante really is looking forward to this. He was very excited. I was talking with him earlier. He's very excited to get this chance again. He's with the Trenton Thunder and the Yankees organization early on in his career. That didn't work out like he planned. And, this really means a lot to Dante. And he actually played his first game the other day and I believe went 4 for 4 and is batting .400 at the moment in his first game. So congratulations to Dante, and we're all very happy for him.
And what Atlantic League fans and what Rocker fans need to take from this is, they need to be happy for their guy because, like you said, he was a fan favorite, and one of your fan favorites is moving on and taking another step in his career, getting close to Major League Baseball. So that's a lot to be excited about. But the other thing for Rockers fans is this is the kind of excellence you can see. We have a lot of former Major League guys and guys in Major League organizations who are all trying to get back to that, and it's achievable. This is proof that and we've had Rockers in the past already get their contracts purchased and guys move up to Major League organizations, and Quincy Lattimore, who's in Mexico playing professionally. So we got guys moving up all the time. So if you like a certain guy, you need to come out and watch them while they're at BB&T Point because you never know when they're going to move up. And if you haven't seen a game yet, this is just more proof there's great baseball players on this team, in this organization, and you need to come out because you never know when they're going to move up. And these guys play well together, and they're winning big games, and they're a whole lot of fun to watch.
We had 2 guys have their contracts purchased before our opening day. One of them being Jesmil Valentine had his purchased by the Phillies before we even played a single game as an organization. Seth Maness had his purchased right before our opening homestand on May 2nd. So, we have a lot of talent. Like you said, Quincy Lattimore and now Dante. This is a great group of guys that we have here in High Point. And this just speaks volumes of what Jamie, Billy, Frank, and Bubber Birdsong all have done as the coaching staff to really help make these guys play well on the field. And I mean, these guys already have great talent, but a great coaching staff behind them really shows.
Absolutely, and Dante Bichette Jr. was named the Atlantic League Player of the Month, and then right after that, he was. Went over to the Washington Nationals, had that deal done with them. That organization is now a Harrisburg Senator, which is the AA affiliate of the Washington Nationals. So once again, our co-host who got taken away from us faster than we would have liked, but for him, I think this is the right time, and he's ready to go. And they couldn't be getting a hotter ball player, like you said. He's hitting .400. He had the best batting average in the Atlantic League, and Player of the Month for a reason. Now, hopefully, he can help them out, and I hope we see him in a Washington National uniform sooner than later because he's a great guy, and as we know and Rockers fans all know, he has the talent.
And one thing I do want to say, talking with Dante, he does love every single one of our fans. He loved being here in High Point. He really loved connecting with every one of them and signing every autograph he possibly could. He really was in love with this place, and so he hopes that you guys can support him in this journey, and we do too. That being said, we have to keep moving forward as an organization, which we are trying to do right now against the Long Island Ducks. So we wish Dante all the best.
The show rolls on, baby. And the Ducks are the Rockers' opponent this week, the Long Island Ducks, are the first place team, and the Rockers went in there. They lost the first game, but they won the second game. They split the series. They are playing now at the time of this recording, going into Sunday's game. The Rockers were 1.5 games back. Last night, they won 10-3. Joe Van Meter was the winning pitcher. So another great win for Joe Van Meter, who's been pitching great for this Rockers team. And the Rockers really come together and getting big wins on the road against the best in this division right now, the Ducks. That's a huge step for a first-year team, and the Rockers really making it count on the road. And if they were able to win this series, that would be 3 big series in a row they've been able to take.
And one thing that we've noticed, we were looking at our stats, that our guys have really, like on Saturday's game, we were playing, and it was 3-2. The Rockers were leading, but it was really a pitcher's duel. And then come towards the end of the game, it's 7th inning, the Rockers had a late surge and just ran away with it, 10-3. What we looked at on our stats is, as a team, we tend to run away with it in the 7th and 8th, either our comebacks or we extend our leads. Those are the 2 innings that are really crucial if you're trying to, get something going. Those are the 2 innings for the Rockers that really have shown that's our best time of play.
Yeah, for whatever reason, when they can get into the opponent's bullpen, which is typically those 7th and 8th innings, they really perform well. They had a couple of those innings at BB&T Point where they just exploded for 5 and 6 runs. And Seth Simmons told us a couple weeks ago on the podcast, said, you may not always see it, but he said, this team has a lot of offense, and these guys can really hit. And we have been seeing that lately. And I got to talk to Jamie Keefe, the manager of the Rockers, right before the game against the York Revolution, last day in the homestand on Thursday. And in the pregame interview, he talked about how defense is so important for this team still, and how, he thinks one of the identities of this team is how great they are defensively, and that's been the one constant on this team. And one of the guys who helps tremendously with the defense, a great shortstop in Giovanny Alfonzo. And James and I were able to have Gio stop in and speak with us for the podcast this week. And it's a great conversation. I think people are going to really dig it. What do you think, James?
I think they're going to have a great time. Gio is definitely one of our characters on the team. I know he was really hoping to do a podcast with Dante. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, but maybe we can get Dante to do a phone in or something. Who knows? But, yeah, that was really fun with Gio, and I definitely think they're going to have a great time listening to this.
He is so much fun to talk to. He is fun. His smile and his energy is contagious, so I know you're going to enjoy this. Here's the shortstop for the High Point Rockers and the clubhouse DJ. Here he is, Giovanny Alfonzo. Hey, Rockers fans. For the interview portion of the pod this week, we have Gio Alfonzo with us. And last time he told me I could call him Gio. Now I'm getting a little cocky. I called you G, so maybe I need to stop, okay? And we have James with us as well. But let's start with, at the time of this recording this on a Tuesday, let's start with last night. Miles Schroeder, the hero, you start on second base, and we'll get your opinion on the new rule in a minute. But talk about getting out there and having to adjust to the new rule and eventually being the game-winning run. Tell me about the process in the 10th inning.
It's a new rule that all of us have kind of had to come accustomed to.
Me included.
Yeah,
I didn't know until I think the Bees game. I saw you running somebody at Baca running out there. I go, okay, that's what I was Googling. What's happening. Yeah,
so I mean, on the defensive side, it's a little stressful. Not as bad when we're home, but when we're away, we can't let them score. So. We try to run a couple plays here and there where we get the guy at third. But on the offensive side, especially with the way Jamie puts our lineups together, he always has like a leadoff style guy hitting ninth. It's been rotated between me, Baca, Breland. That's just to try to get an opportunity late in the game if we need to get a guy on second base and, play the game. And so I know, hitting ninth last night, I knew I was going to be on second base going into that extra inning, and having Tyler come up and Miles right off the bat, we know we have a chance. It's a good feeling knowing that those guys are leading off that inning.
Don't want to get you in trouble. It's a controversial rule. Do you like it? What are your thoughts on it?
I understand it.
Yeah.
I get that it makes the game go by faster. I think there's two sides to everything. Part of me says, I love the old school, grind it out. If it takes 25 innings, it takes 25 innings. The other side of me says I'm playing every day, and I need, if we can cut it off after the 10th inning, I'm good with that too. So, but then you hear the fans going, "Oh, what's going on?" And a couple fans after the game last night asked me why we did it, and it's a time thing, So, trying to make it more easier on the fan experience, making the games a little shorter. I understand that. So I'm indifferent. It's both. I'm taking both sides for it. So. And
it's easier to like it when you win. When it goes in your favor, you're a big fan of it.
I like it when we're the home team. When we're away, it's tough. It's tough. So.
The one thing I will say about it, because like you said, it's kind of a divisive might be the wrong word, but it's a little controversial. It comes with controversy. Anytime you change anything in a game that's been around for so long, the one thing you can't say about it, especially when it is the home team, it adds excitement. Yesterday, when you guys were playing defense, that inning, the stress is immediately, it starts high. I felt bad for Runyon, who comes into the bullpen. It's got to be quite a crisis for the relief guy, because automatically you're dealing with a guy on second base that no one's accounted for him. So it adds excitement right off the bat.
Yeah, I think it does. It does. But I think for the pitchers, especially when we're on the home side, we know that we have a chance with that exact same situation. So I don't think it's as bad than when you're away. I mean, when you're on the road, and what was it, New Britain that we had that. It's we want to score two, because we know they have an opportunity. Yeah, they have an opportunity to score one just like we do. So as the away team, we might not be inclined to bunt like the home team would be, just to get the guy over and get the guy in. So sometimes it
you're not thinking one like the home team. You're thinking two or three.
You're thinking two or three. You're trying to add them up, and as the home team, you're just trying to get one. One and you're done. So I think there's a different side to it depending on if you're home or away. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of excitement. And when we got out of that inning without them scoring, I don't know if you could tell, but we were all pumped up, screaming. Runyon was pumping his chest, walking off the field, and it feels good when you can get out of that inning without any damage.
When you got down the 2 outs, you could feel the whole building kind of change, the whole vibe change.
Absolutely.
All right, James, you asked the fun stuff. You have some fun. I asked the boring stuff.
Gio, back when you were a little kid, you spent a lot of time in the clubhouse, with your father playing. What are some of your favorite memories in the clubhouse?
Oh, man. Favorite memories. All right, so when looking back, I guess it didn't really matter all that much when I was in that situation. But when I was running around those locker rooms, I didn't realize how many big leaguers I was around right away. My dad was Jose Reyes, his first manager over in Kingsport. He managed Mike Jacobs. He managed Angel Pagan. He managed Juan Lagares, Josh Satin, Eric Campbell, Ike Davis, and the list goes on and on and on. And, at the time, it was just me running around, just being a little kid, messing with them, taking BP with them, catching their fly balls. I didn't realize that those guys are going to be huge names in the big leagues. So, when I look back, that's probably something that I took for granted as a kid, but it's like it's something that I can say, it helped mold me as a player, helped mold me in the character that I show when I'm out on the field, giving, signing autographs and stuff. I saw a lot of those guys do that, and it means a lot to the people that come to games. And for me, it was just something that was normal, so.
And was there a certain guy, the guy you just mentioned, or one of those guys you just mentioned, maybe not, was there a certain guy that you saw that you were like, yeah, I want to play like him? Or, that you were around and like, I like his play, I want to be like that guy?
Well, I always wanted to be a shortstop like Jose Reyes. You guys got to see him in the big leagues, but watching him as a 19, 18, 17-year-old in the minor leagues, playing above the level that he was at was unbelievable. He was just so electric from the first game that we ever watched him. But I think we had David Wright. I say we like I did anything, but my dad had the chance to coach David Wright, and was actually the roving infield instructor when Wright got called up, and flew on the plane from Norfolk, Virginia up to Shea Stadium with him. My dad has stories for days about Wright's work ethic and just the type of person he was. And he always, that was the one person that he always said, you want to be like David. You want to be like David. He took no days off. He worked very hard. And it was just, that's probably one of one of the few names that I can come up with that I wanted to mold my career after.
And you said something about your father and Frank Viola, knowing each other from back in the day. What was that like, knowing that you're now going to play for Frank Viola?
Well, I didn't remember him that well. I was a kid, running around. But my dad, was a coach in the organization. My uncle played in the organization with him while he was a coach. Frank was always around, and now it's funny because I remember his voice. I just don't remember actually being around him.
It's an iconic voice.
It's a very distinctive voice. But when I walked in for our first meeting at the hotel when we showed up for the report day, he walked up to me right away and he goes, "Fonzie, how you doing? Long time no see." So he made it very welcoming, felt like family. So and then that's how the Mets organization, was when I was there. We were just a big family. So. With Frank being there and having open arms when I showed up, it felt very good.
You were talking to me off the record about how you love signing an autograph for kids and how much it means to you to do that. What makes you want to do that, and what makes you really want to connect with the fans?
It's a good feeling when you walk up to the plate, whether it's nobody on, nobody out, first inning, or late in the game like last night when I had a chance in the ninth inning, and the fans are behind you. It feels good. It just feels like you're not up there by yourself. That's something that when my dad was coaching in Brooklyn, actually, we had such a good fan base there that it always felt like it was the entire stadium against the pitcher whenever those get. So I always knew that if you had the fans, if you're good with the fans and the fans connect with you, they're gonna have your back. You're gonna hear them. Come on, Gio. They're gonna pump you up. But, the biggest thing for me is, I was lucky enough to grow up in a locker room. I was lucky enough to always have baseball as my second house. I was always on the field. I was always in the locker room. I was, like I said, with big leaguers all the time. Some of these kids don't get that opportunity. And when they come to a game, maybe once a week, once a month, with their parents or with their friends, we're so in some ways we're somebody that they look up to, and even if it's just a smile, hey, what's up, how you doing, or I get to sign an autograph for them or take a picture with them or dance with them when the music's playing, that's something that they can remember, and that's something that can help mold them into somebody that's just nice. Just be nice to people, because I'm a big believer in the vibe that you give is the vibe that you receive. And when you make somebody's day by just smiling with them, dancing with them, talking to them for a quick second, it translates into good energy for them, and I just feel like, if I'm able to be that person's smile for that day, then so be it. I'll take that chance, take that opportunity 100 times.
And last thing for me, when you played for Tampa, you played against the Phillies in spring training, I believe, right?
Yep.
What was that? I believe you hit a home run or a grand slam. I don't remember what exactly it was, but you won the game against the Phillies when you were in Tampa. What was that experience like for you?
Well, that was awesome. So I had actually the opportunity to play the Phillies when I was at Florida State, and we got beat big time. And then I transferred to Tampa my junior year. And my senior year, we actually got to play them again. So it was like my second time playing the Phillies. And
you wanted them this time, right? I can get a better shot this time.
Yeah, I think I was a freshman the first time around, and then a senior the second time around. The second time around, I was getting, scouts were coming to games, watching, and I wanted to say, what, if I can play today, I'll prove myself to them. And I got 4 at bats. My first 2 at bats, nothing doing. I think my bat broke my second at bat. I picked up a new bat going into my third at bat. Got an RBI base hit to put us on the board. I think it was 4-1 at the time. And then my next at bat, I hit a grand slam with 2 outs and 2 strikes. So, that moment was probably one of the biggest of my career. Just in the fact that when I was running the bases, I was like, "Is this a dream?" I was pushing myself. I was looking up to see, like, I'm gonna wake up eventually. But when I touched home plate and my team was, they were basically on top of me and the game was still going on, it was just an unbelievable moment. But what came after was probably even bigger. Seeing myself on ESPN, going to restaurants after the game to celebrate with the team, and seeing, all the TVs had ESPN up, and the highlight just kept showing and showing and showing, and people were coming up and congratulating us and taking pictures with me. That was the first time I kind of experienced anything like that. So that's something that I definitely, I think about it often, and I watch that home run every now and then. It's on my Instagram and stuff that I just go back and look at it because it brings back a good feeling, But, to say that we beat a major league team while I was in college, that's a big time achievement, so.
And as we finish up here, but to to bring it back to the Rockers, everybody we interview, whether me or James kind of spark the question, it comes up, which tells me a lot. But the word culture comes up a lot here, and what a good job that Jamie does and everybody else does with the culture in the clubhouse. And as you guys in BP and walking around, you're a loose group, you're having a good time. What can you say about the culture? And second part of the question, do you feel like that you help contribute to that, especially with your prior Atlantic League experience and your upbringing, being in clubhouses, being in locker rooms?
Yeah, first off, hats off to Jamie, Frank, and Billy for putting this group together, because I've never been on a baseball team that clicked as quick as we did. There was a lot of pressure coming in this year because, being the new squad, a lot of people in the league kind of shut us out, right away. And we felt like we had a chip on our shoulders. We had something to come out and prove. And, just the personalities that the coaching staff brought into this locker room, it made it really easy to click. Everybody's very loose. We're always laughing. Somebody's always joking around. There's no dull moment in that locker room, And when you think about it, the core guys, the catchers that have to communicate with the pitchers, and the center fielders, the middle infielders, Tyler and I, we've clicked very well. I feel like he's a big brother to me. Everyone always has something that you can bring to a conversation to just make everybody laugh, And I think playing this game is hard enough as it is. You fail more times than you do succeed, and you have to have that type of personality in this game. You have to be able to just laugh things off and just say, you know what, we have tomorrow, let's do it again. So I think that this group, the culture that we have, it's second to none. It's a big league atmosphere when you step into the locker room, when you're in that dugout during games. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And at any point, it doesn't matter what the score is. We know that we have an opportunity to come back. We have an opportunity to win a game. Doesn't matter the score, and a lot of that has to do with the personalities that we have in that locker room, in that dugout.
And we'll end with great answers. We'll end with a personal question to get to know you a little bit better. What is on your iPod right now? Or your phone? What's the last thing you added? Or is there something this week that you can't stop listening to?
Well, I'll tell you this: if you walk by the locker room, I'm the locker room DJ.
Okay, and now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, so actually this might be another 20 minutes. But if you walk by the locker room, I don't shut anything out of my music repertoire. I'm very open to any kind of genre. I love music, everything about music.
You're a diverse DJ. You can play for anybody.
I'm diverse. And listen, what I do, and I'm going to give out a little secret here to the fans. If you're in charge of the aux cord, you have to be able to stagger each song by genre, not by who you like. You have to go hip-hop, country, rock, rap, Latin music, Caribbean music, whatever it is that you have in that library, stagger the genre, because it keeps your listeners on their toes.
And you got a lot of guys in there who probably like a lot of different things, a lot of different backgrounds.
And you keep everybody happy. And that's the biggest part. But right now, man, there's everything in there. I can go from Thomas Rhett to Lil Wayne to I got some Caribbean, Marshall Montano from Trinidad and Tobago. I got a bunch of adolescentes, that's salsa. I got Don Omar reggaeton, J Balvin reggaeton. I got everything in there. So
to follow up to that, this might be another 20 minutes. Just kidding. To follow up on that, what's the song as the DJ when you know your guys pretty well and you're going to school down there? You're noticing what gets a reaction. What's the song What's the song that's been getting everybody up that you play and you're like, okay, now they're ready? Is there been one or two that you go, when I play this, the place usually loses it?
Actually, there's not one song, but there's a time frame. I think 2000s hip hop, like 50 Cent, the G Unit, the guys go crazy. It's unbelievable. Miles Schroeder, well, he's a big West Coast rap guy. So any NWA, Eazy-E,
I would never have pictured.
And you never would have known. But listen, these guys, they have there's a specific time frame that I think these guys were maybe in college And they're
then you play a little window. You play a little window shopper, and it goes off.
Window shopper. It's crazy. In the club, still pops off in that locker room. Like you're in the club in the late 2000s. But our win song right now is Mo Bamba by Sheck West. I think Quincy was the one that called it. Quincy and Dante were the ones that called that one out in the beginning of the year. So for a win, that's what you play? Every win. First song that we play is Mo Bamba, and then I get into my mix right after that.
Well, the hottest club in town apparently is the Rockers Clubhouse. Gio, we appreciate it so much. We'll let you go, but thanks for stopping by and welcome anytime.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me.
That was Giovanny Alfonzo, the shortstop for the High Point Rockers. Man, G is the best. We thank him so much for stopping by. What a great conversation that was.
Gio is really just a character, and love to have him on the team. I didn't know he was the clubhouse DJ, and I'm in there almost all the time. I didn't know that, but he's got some fire music.
One of the requests I wanted to make, I as soon as the interview ended, I thought of it, and I'm going to bring it up to him next time I see him. But he talked about how the 2000 rap really gets the guys going. I'm sure Soul Survivor, Young Jeezy, Akon would really do a number in there. So that's going to be my next request down there. Even that, I'm not down there, but I just think that would add to the circulation. Put that in the rotation.
I think it'd be great.
One more recap before we tell you what's coming up at the BB&T point. One more thing we need to mention is when you look at the Atlantic League, we talked about last week. We talked about it on the pregame shows of every broadcast, which you can find on YouTube and Spreaker. Is how close the Liberty division is between the Ducks, the Rockers, the Patriots, and the Bees. 5.5 games separate the fourth place team and the first place team. It's really close. And the Sugarland Skeeters in the Freedom division, they have 26 wins and 17 losses. They are really in command in that Freedom division. The Lancaster Barnstormers are 7.5 back. The York Revolution are 12.5 back. And the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are 13.5 games back. So that's a look at overall. Now that we've done that, let's go to James Jackson in the Rockers Event Center as he gets you ready for what's going to be a huge Father's Day homestand. Bring your pops out. Come to the ballpark. Tell us why we need to be there, Jade. What's going on?
Well, June 14th through 16th, the Rockers are hosting the Long Island Ducks for the second time this season at BB&T Point. But that's not just a typical weekend at the ballpark. That's actually Father's Day weekend. You can call the Rockers office at 336-888-1000 to really listen to us talk about what a Father's Day 4-pack is. It's $44. You get, listen to this, Kevin, you get 4 outfield box tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 fountain drinks, and 1 Rockers baseball for the father. It's really a great deal. It goes on from June 14th through 16th. And what a better time to come spend Father's Day weekend than at a ballpark with the Rockers. The 15th, we have a doubleheader against the Ducks. 16th is a Sunday. We have a High Sox Sunday as well. So really, what better way to spend Father's Day weekend than with the Rockers?
And you got to come out to any part of the homestand. If you can't make it to the front half of the Long Island Ducks, you can come see the Lancaster Barnstormers. They are currently the second place team in the Freedom Division. The Ducks are the first place team, as of this recording, the first place team in the Liberty Division. And last time these two met at home, they were great games. So it's great baseball out there. And you got to come through for Father's Day weekend because, like you said, that package is spectacular. 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and all the other stuff you get. So it's really hard to beat. I don't know if you can beat it. And then Saturday, that doubleheader, we got fireworks and it's Mustache Appreciation Night. And we have the best. The Rockers have the best mustache in baseball in Frank Viola as the pitching coach.
Frank has a signature mustache. We have a couple guys who I think are gonna get into the theme a little bit, shave their beards and grow out this crazy looking mustache. I know I'm gonna certainly try. And Kevin, I hope you put on a fake mustache, and it'll be a great day.
Yeah, I think I might grow a real one. Who knows? I have time. I might come back with a really good-looking mustache. Who knows?
If you don't, we'll draw a Sharpie one on your face.
let's do it by any means necessary. And I heard the fireworks show on Saturday is going to be a big one. So you want to come out because it should be spectacular, and it's just a great backdrop to see the fireworks going off in the downtown High Point sky. So you got to come down and enjoy that. You got to come out to the ballpark for Father's Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. James, I think that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
Well, actually, the Lancaster Barnstormers, when they come into town the 18th through 20th, the 20th is actually our dollar beer night. So don't forget to bring out with you and your buddies and coming out and have dollar beers with us while we play the Barnstormers for the first time at BB&T Point.
You got to come out and enjoy those dollar beers. You know, you can actually get a beer for $1, which, you know, you can't. I don't know if you can get that anywhere else. It's pretty hard to get, pretty hard to beat. So come out and enjoy that. Always a good time on Dollar Beer Night on Thursday evenings. So that's all we have for this week's Off the Rockers. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much again to Giovanny Alfonzo. Best of luck and good luck to Dante Bichette Jr. Your Rockers continue to play great quality baseball at BB&T Point, and as James just mentioned, you'll be able to see the High Point Rockers take on the Ducks. That's after their road trip to York. After they finish in Long Island today, they're going to head to York to play a 4-game series. And then they come home to take on the Ducks, have a day off on Monday. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they take on the Lancaster Barnstormers. We'll see you next time. We hope we see you at BB&T Point real soon. But unfortunately, right now, we must bid you adieu. Goodbye.
Good night.
We'll see you at the ballpark.